Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shelby, aka 88 Fox. Today we're going to continue working on the 4-cylinder Foxbody. So, what do we have planned for this? Well, if you look back here, I have the heater core completely bypassed, so I want to get that up and going. In turn, I also have the blower motor pulled out of this thing and a couple other odds and ends. So in order to be able to replace this heater core, you have to pull the dash in this thing. Not very fun, but I've done it a few times now, so I am pretty well versed on what needs to happen. But I am also excited to do this because I got a couple other things that I want to get knocked out at the same time. So those things include, need to figure out what's going on with the electric fan switch, and kind of embarrassed to show you all this, but here goes. I currently have it just chilling with a light switch. So I'll be able to get this dash out of the way and do a little bit more in-depth troubleshooting and figuring out what's going on with the fan switch. If anything, I might cut it all out and just run a different setup, but we'll see what goes on. And then, yeah, I've got to get the blower motor situation fixed. So it's sitting right there. I don't remember exactly what, oh yeah, I pulled it so that I could get to the original ECU, because I thought that the ECU was the original problem with this car, why I wasn't starting to begin with. But if you followed along before, you've figured out that that was not the case. It was just a bunch of fuel system setup and so on. But I got to get the ECU mounted back in, get it all cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and pull this carpet, and I'm going to put in the carpet that was originally in this Foxbody, which is sitting up there. So black carpet, and I'm going to go ahead and start trying to figure out some interior stuff for this and get it kind of cleaned up so it doesn't look just so raunchy. And then I think to finish it off, we're going to go ahead and replace this fender. I've got the other fender sitting over there in the corner. I'm going to take this fender off, and I got to do a little bit of straightening here. So we're going to try to see if I can straighten that up a little bit and get it nice and multicolored. So that's the game plan. We'll see what we can knock out. But first things first, we got to start pulling that dash. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started on that, and we will report back shortly. Alright, so that was quite the pain in the ass. I got everything out though. Dash is over here. This part right here, it's got just one little screw back here that clips it in, but like you can't access the screw anywhere. So I don't know what the deal was with that, but it was all, this thing was killing me. But I managed to get the pigtails unplugged and it was good to go. Yeah, so everything's intact here. The body harness itself, there are some problems that I'm gonna have to work through that I noticed right off the bat. But like, this is my hazard switch. It just came apart. So there's that. Honestly, I might just get online and see if there's a, I think Painless Performance might make something for this, but I would like to replace that full body harness because we've got cut wires. I don't know what those go to. Of course, old school fuse block, all that good stuff. Oh, we might see what we can find. See if we can find something for a decent price. I would rather just go that route and diet all the wiring and know that it's clean and good to go. So, but if not, we'll figure it out. So next step, because we are replacing the heater core, is I got to get this heater core out. So I'm going to take all of this stuff off the back side of it, and then I'm going to go under the hood and unbolt everything from here. I'm pretty sure, yep, so there's one of the bolts right here. These big bolts right here, these are what hold the heater core in. So there's another one, I believe, yep, right over here. And then I think there's another one that's actually behind this dryer. So the dryer needs to move, so we'll do that first. I'm gonna uncut the zip, or cut the zip tie so I can get access over here. But the entire AC box assembly has to come out in order for me to be able to replace the heater core, which sits right behind these two hoses. Yep, well, lots of fun, but we'll get it knocked out. All right, no time like the present, let's do it. Well, we got the heater box out of the car. It was, I don't know, it was a little bit more difficult than I anticipated, but not that bad. I had to unhook the dryer, and then I had to pop this hose off for the AC line. But I mean, the AC didn't work before, so I knew there wasn't going to be any problem with that. I had to pop that off, and then I had to break off the ends of the heater core to get this hose off, which goes to show you how brittle that was. And here's the heater core, or well, here's the air box, AC box, and that is the heater core. Just had to take that cover off, 4 little bolts, and then this thing pops out. So you can't really see any leaking on this side. It might have been leaking a little bit right there. There's quite a bit of surface rust, but you flip it over, bam, this thing was leaking like crazy right here, and then you can see kind of like it's streaking down and then leaking over here. So I imagine this thing had quite a nasty leak, or well, I know it had quite a nasty leak because as soon as I put coolant in it, it was pissing it all over the floor. But I imagine that's why they got rid of this car, to be honest. But we're gonna get that out of there, and we're gonna replace it with a brand new 4 Seasons. Yeah, I didn't go super cheap. I went a step above, and so 4 Seasons, it'll slide right in. But before I even do that, I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this out. I'm gonna see if I can take this little filter out. Oh, oop, nope. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just try to vacuum all that out, clean it up. It's got this nice little strip of felt with it as well, so it should be enough to get both sides on there. So I'll put it right here on this part of the heater core box, and then right here, and then that way we can have a nice snug fit, and then assemble it back together. But before I do that, well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that done just so I can get it done. And then once I get that done, I'm gonna start doing some cleanup in here. I'm gonna get all the tools out, give it a nice good vacuuming, and then work to get this carpet out of here. Once I get that carpet out, I'll probably have to vacuum it all up again because there'll be more debris. And then we will put that carpet that's up there that goes in this that I had purchased originally for this Foxbody back in here. I'm gonna eventually convert everything here to black. I just want a full black interior. So we might go ahead and start seeing about painting some parts and different things, but I got shit that's broken. These door panels are busted. I'm gonna have to do some figuring out, but at bare minimum we can at least get the carpet put in there, and then the dash is actually in really good condition, so I think we can just go ahead and maybe tape off and paint the dash and go about that route. Pull the tweeters out of there. I'm gonna replace them with some different tweeters. Plan on doing like some subwoofer stuff and different things in here. But anyways, I'm babbling. We're gonna get this cleaned out, get this heater core replaced, and then see what's next. See ya. Well, I know this video is about getting the heater core done, but we're gonna do some other stuff too. So I got the carpet out, and if you look, there is a ton of rust in here. From just looking at it, it looks like it's all just surface rust, but I can't be 100% sure of that until I actually go to get it out of here. So what I'm probably gonna, and actually that's not really that bad considering, like what happens is these bolt holes for the floor or for the seat, they're not water sealed or watertight, so they leak. And then like you have this plug right here, those can leak as well. And then of course people spilling shit in the seats, that doesn't help at all. And then these things, these get corroded over time, and this whole gasket, as you can tell, just breaks apart. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a new gasket for these. These clip in the bottom, and they kind of like spread out that way. So I'll have to see, but I might actually have to replace these. I don't know. I got to get under the car and flip it out, pull it up, and put them in there. I actually think I got it set, but maybe so. But this is going to be the main culprit of what's causing all this rust. So I got to get all this rust out of here before I can proceed any further with putting the carpet in. And I've got to get the carpet in before I can put the heater core back in, because the carpet goes all the way up to where the heater core sits. So next is rust removal, and hopefully that's all it is, and I won't have to do any welding or anything. While I'm at it, I need to get this bolt out of here because this one broke off for the seat. That way I can have 4 bolts that hold the seat down. Other side is okay, but I might just run I might run a tap through them all just so I can make sure that they're clean. And then I think I'm gonna try to figure out if I can put some kind of, when I put the seats back in, if there's some kind of gasket material or something I can put in it. But yeah, so started out doing a heater core. Now we're doing rust removal and hopefully no body repair. So it is what it is. It's a journey when you're messing with shit boxes. Well, exactly what I didn't want to happen happened. So we've got some holes that need to be filled. So gonna have to do that. I'll get this pulled out and do a little more cleanup. I'll get my soda blaster in here and try to see if I can just clean up a little bit more around the area, see if there's any other minor holes, and then I'm probably just gonna get my brass plate on the bottom side and just weld them all up. Shouldn't be too big of a chore, but still annoying. I did get this bolt extracted. That was actually pretty easy. But also on the driver's side, we actually have a little bit more, but it seems to be a little bit more in one area. So I might try to cut that out and put a new piece of plate in there. I'm gonna go ahead and order these new gaskets for that. You know what? I might just weld that up. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna weld that back up. We're gonna get this old gasket off and we're gonna weld that up. I got a drain plug right here, so I'll be fine. Yeah, sucks. Is what it is though. I'd rather find it now than find it later. But it is after 10 o'clock and I have 4 children and other crap. So I'll be back. And when I come back, this will be welded up. All right, so I was gone for over a week at work, but finally managed to get a little bit of time. And I got one of the new floor pans in. It's not finished. I'm gonna have to clean it up just a little bit. There's a couple little spots right here in this far corner that were totally just like, I couldn't even lay a little bit of weld without it burning through. So I had to do some stacking of some welds, and then also kind of right here in this corner as well. I cut the pan just a little bit too small, so it just didn't, I had to fill in a gap, so I had to kind of do one of these numbers with my old trusty Harbor Freight MIG welder. But we're gonna clean it up and then double check all the welds on top, and then I'm gonna go to that side and do that side. And then after that's done, I'm gonna raise it up in the air and then grind it. Well, not raise it up on the lift, but well, I don't know. We might roll it over there. Yeah, we might just roll it over there and put it on the lift. And then I'm gonna have to clean up some slag that went through on the bottom side, make it look, you know, nice and clean. So that's kind of the plan. But yeah, it's in there. It's sturdy. I may not be the best welder in the world, but I can make 2 things stick together. But this one's going to be super important that I don't have any pinhole gaps or anything like that. So we're going to definitely double check all the welds, make sure that any pinholes are filled up. And then once we do the bottom side and check it all up there, then we'll lay some kind of self-etcher paint. I don't know, just something they can fill in any kind of like little minuscule cracks and gaps, just in case there is something that I missed somewhere. And then we'll probably put some POR on it to make it really, you know, done. But yeah, hey, I'm actually happy with how that turned out. I think I said that I was going to start out, or I was going to use this plate steel, which I did actually cut the plate steel and tried to feed it in there. But there's like these bins that I had to get that just I wasn't going to be able to do unless I like cut and welded those plates. So I got a buddy who lives local he found me a plate of 18 gauge steel. It's got a little surface rust on it, but nothing crazy. So we cut that up and that's what I put in there. And it was easy to pound into place with a couple hammers. So yeah, I'm happy with it. But we'll get this other side done and then we'll do some cleanup, because it's pretty grotesque in here with all these car parts. And then we'll get it up in the air and do our final kind of touch on the bottom, or on this welding, before we start putting everything back in. So yeah, that's where we're at. I will see you when I got the car raised up. Peace. Okay, so fast forward a little bit. We've moved the car from over here, where all that junk is, to the lift. And we got the other side patched in, so both of my patches are in. But I just did it from the top side, so I don't know what it looks like in the bottom. So we're gonna lift it. I'm gonna keep my light up over here so I can see any holes that might be protruding through, and then try to adjust those as needed. So we're gonna go ahead and lift it up, assess the situation. I think I might have to cut just a little bit of metal out, and then we'll double tap any welds that need to be done, clean it all up, and then throw some paint on it so that it doesn't rust out. So that's what's next. Let's go ahead and get this thing lifted up and check it out. Oh yeah, so we definitely got some slag under here. So I'm just gonna clean all this up where I had bits and pieces come out because I had to, you know, do what I had to do. And then this being like the floor support, I'll probably just weld that back together. And then the rest of this I think can just clean up pretty nicely actually, so not super concerned with it. Same thing on this side, I'll just have to clean this up. We might just beat this part in a little bit, so just hammer it in, and then I'm not going to do a full line of tack welds across it because there's nothing that's showing through. So, well, there we go. Nothing that's showing through, so looks good overall. I've got a little spot right here, and I can just tack that from the bottom. So yeah, overall not too bad. A lot better than I was expecting actually. So we'll clean this up, throw a few more welds on there, and then I'll show you the kind of finished product before we paint it. Okie dokie. So this is finished on the bottom side. There's the driver's side patch, and there's the passenger side patch. What I decided to do was I cleaned up all the welds and then saw a couple of pinholes, so I filled those up. After I did that, then I decided to just go ahead and seam seal it on the bottom side. If you know anything about these cars, like half of the car is seam sealer, so I'm not doing anything that's abnormal for this vehicle in particular. So yeah, I mean, I got a couple little pieces here or whatever, but it's all good. So no leaks, no nothing. It's gonna be solid. So also did seam seal on the top side while I was waiting for this to dry, but that's still wet, so we'll get to the top side here in a bit. But while I'm down here, I'm gonna check out a couple other things. So we've got some, I don't know what's going on with this duct tape here, this whole situation going on over here. Looks like, yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna play around with this for a little bit while this bottom side dries, or the top side dries, and then we'll put a little bit of paint on that to make it all nice and perfect, and then we'll go ahead and start putting everything back together, and we're gonna start with the carpet. All right, okay, time for a little progress update. Well, I got the carpet in, and then I got the HVAC box in. Now I'm working on getting the dash all good. So problem is the majority of the wiring harness sits above one of the plates in the dash. So I had to kind of loosely mount the dash in, and now I'm working on getting all the wiring to where it's supposed to go. So currently working on the instrument cluster portion of it, and then once I get all of that kind of routed, then I'll put the AC controls back in, and then we'll see what's left. So the only thing that's left on the actual HVAC unit is this little yellow vacuum tube, which goes behind the dash. And then I have another vacuum tube that connects to the blower motor. I haven't hooked up the blower motor yet. I took it out a long time ago so I could get to the ECU for some troubleshooting when I first got this car. But we'll put the blower motor in once I get everything else kind of situated. So yeah, we got a lot of wiring and stuff to go. So hopefully when I come back, I haven't burned this car down, and I've actually got it kind of put back together. So there you go, there's the update. All right, so might not look much different than the last update, but it is. So I've got everything routed. I got my steering column back on. I had a 140 mile per hour gauge cluster, so I went ahead and threw that in. I have no idea about the calibration of the mile per hour gauge, but that's something for a future endeavor. But I just got everything kind of laid in here. And so I wanted to just make sure that the AC would, well, the AC is not going to work, and the heater core's not, or the heat's not going to work because I don't have the actual heater core plumbed up, and I have no coolant or no refrigerant in the AC system. But I just wanted to make sure that all the vents worked, that everything was good. So I've already started it and ran it, but here you go, so you can just see. So first off, gauge cluster works just fine, except I do seem to have a little issue with the fuel gauge, but we can deal with that later. AC's off, and then you can probably even hear that it's blowing air. Then you go off floor, coming out here in the floor where it's supposed to, and then mix. Oh yeah, so mix comes out the top and the bottom, and then defrost only works just fine. So yay for that. Really, I've just got to put everything back together now, and then take it for, and then plumb up the heater core, and then take it for a test drive. So what I mean by it's not plumbed up is I've still got it bypassed right here, and not where it needs to go. So we'll have to do that. And then the other thing that I'm going to try to figure out is the cooling fan before I get too far. But man, I'll tell you what, this light is incredible. This is a and I'm not sponsored or nothing, this is a Night Buddy. I saw it on like a thing, I don't know, a Facebook ad, and I was like, man, I need a new headlamp. So I ordered 4 of these for like 30 bucks or 40 bucks or something like that, and they come in handy, let me tell you. I use them when I go obviously work on ship boxes, and then out to the chicken coop at night. And yeah, they're good to have. So highly suggest you get some of those. Again, not sponsored, but I will if you want me to. But yeah, so it's up and running. Seems like everything's working. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break because I've been at this for about honestly like 4 hours today. And yeah, I'll come back once I got everything slapped back in here. All right. Okay, so we got majority of it, or well, some of it back in. Went ahead and cleaned up the original center console and everything. I'll eventually probably be going to a black center console, but those things are quite expensive. So got the panel back on. I'm gonna get some new speakers and stuff, so I'm not really too worried about some of it. I got another hazard switch coming in. Still got a couple wires I need to figure out, but you know, it's coming together. Side note, I did get a bunch of stuff in from LMR, so a bunch of interior parts. So I got some weather stripping, some new kick panels, some door panels, which I'm excited about because the door panels on this thing are, well, as you can see, that one, they're trashed. So get some new door panels in here, and yeah, and we're gonna just kind of put this interior back together. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take the seats out of the, oh, and I got new seat belts. I'm gonna take the seats out of the 88 here and go ahead and put those in. And then I've got some Recaros that my buddy has that he's gonna give me for a really good price. So I'm gonna put those in there and probably make some my own tracks for those. So since I have the rear seats right there that originally were in that one, I'm gonna put all of that in here. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this headliner out. Since I've got vinyl, well, there's a headliner and there's my head. Since I've got some vinyl that's coming, I'm going to go ahead and take this headliner out while I've got the majority of the interior out of here, and then we'll install those seat belts, all brand new black seat belts, so those look really nice in here. Yeah, it's coming together. There's going to be some stuff missing, so still don't have a radio for it. Again, I got to figure out what's going on with some of these wires over here. I got another set of wires over there, and I got to get some speakers for the door panels, but I'm not super worried about that at the moment. But yeah, so I'll update when I feel like there needs to be an update. Okay, I got the dash back in and the center console, and then I decided to go ahead and rip the rest of the interior out, including the headliner. So let's see, what have I done? First thing, we'll talk about this door window. Window was not working at all, but you could hear the motor kind of drag a little bit. So let's see, let's turn this on. So I found this connector once I took this door panel off that's broken, and it's still broken, but I cleaned it up, used some brake cleaner to clean it out. I know it's not whatever the electrical stuff, but it's all the same crap anyways. Got it back together and was able to start moving it a little bit. Noticed that it was really rusty on the gear here, so the gear that moves it up and down, and it was pretty bad on here. So I tried to scrape a little bit of it off with this and some parts cleaner, and got it a little bit clean to where it'd move a little bit more. And then I used a trick that I've learned in as being a mechanic, and put some brake caliper grease on this slide, on that gear over there, and then on this little gear up here, and finally managed to get it to where I could get it to move. And then here's the result. So it still drags just a little bit on the bottom side, but I can deal with that. I'll probably, before I go ahead and put this door panel back on, I'll probably hit it with another layer of grease, and it might still be dragging just a little bit because of this actual pit plug here. So I'm gonna replace this plug. I have some wires that are kind of poking, that are not super great, so I'm gonna just make sure that they're good, and then I'm going to probably just put some tape around those. But I'll go ahead and replace this plug here. Yeah, as you can see, we've got some wire, or we've got some copper showing through right in there, but you know, whatever, not too bad. I've got some plugs that I can replace that with. So got that knocked out. Went ahead and took the seat belts off of this side because I wanted to replace them anyways, because I already took that seat belts off of that side. While I was at it, I went ahead and took these plastic pieces off, and then I took the piece back here off and the headliner off. So headliner and all that stuff is over here. What I'm gonna go ahead and do with these plastic pieces is I'm gonna go ahead and get them painted, so clean them up real nice, paint them black, and then go from there. Headliner's over here. It's a little bit cracked on the back side, so I'm gonna try to figure out something with that. But overall, the condition of the cardboard is fine. So I'm gonna strip all of this off. I've got felt coming from Amazon, and I've already got some 3M adhesive. I've done this before for that Foxbody, so not super concerned about that. That one's gonna be pretty easy. I don't know exactly what I want to do about the broken cardboard. I'm not gonna buy new stuff, so that's out of the realm. This little foam piece, which goes in the back, it's got the speaker holes for the 6 by 9s, I guess is what they are. This thing is 8.3. I don't know what the hell got back here, but it is beat up. So again, it looks like it's just cardboard. So I might try to see if I can make one myself. If not, well, I don't know. Yeah, if not, I might just grab the one back here out of this Foxbody, which is in good condition. It's all black, and then go about it that way. But there's not speaker holes on this one, so I think I might just, I don't know. I might hit up LMR and see if they've got something, but we'll see. Last thing, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these seats out of this one. I've got a buddy that's getting me some Recaros. I mean, these aren't the greatest condition seats, but they're fully tilt and they bolt right up, so they've got some Mustang tracks on them. My buddy's giving me some Recaros for really cheap, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw those in here, and then in the interim I'm just gonna put these in that Foxbody. And the reason I'm doing that is because I do have the rear seats right here. Those rear seats were in this one, or in the 88 over here, and they match up with the racing seats that are in there. So yeah. And then last but not least, I got a whole bunch of crap from LMR. I got new door panels, new kick panels, all new weather stripping. I got an interior restoration kit, blah, 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 blah. And so hardware and everything. So I should be good to go. The only thing that I don't have, well, let's turn this off so I don't kill my battery. Well, I won't kill it because I got it plugged into the trickle charger. The one thing that I don't have is speakers yet for the car. I need to see what kind of speakers I can put in here because this is really shallow. So I was kind of actually thinking about getting one of those little speaker pods that come out, or I might 3D print something. That'd be pretty cool. Now the problem is, like, I've got a speaker hole on this side. I don't have a speaker hole on that side. So I'm gonna have to cut that out or something. So kind of sucks, but whatever. Let's go check that out real quick. I don't think there's even like, yeah, there's no template or no nothing. So I'm looking at the bolt holes. The bolt holes are even different. So on the driver's side, the bolt hole's right here. On this side, it's over here. This actually would interfere with cutting a circle. So what is that? Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, so I might just be able to cut that out. There's nothing on the back side of there that's holding anything in. So I'll be able to cut that out, have a speaker spot there. Maybe we'll see about getting a speaker pod. Unfortunately, what that's gonna do, that's gonna damage the brand new door panels. So might have to second guess speaker locations. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But as far as the heater core goes, everything is good. So we've got everything bolted up. Everything's just fine. So on to the next. I'll update when I feel like updating. All right, so I've done a lot of walking around, really, and just kind of figuring out what I want to do next. And I decided I'm just going to go ahead and end this video. So I got the seat from the 88 Foxbody in here. Yes, I know it's damaged. I'll get it fixed one day, but it's definitely better than what I had in there before. Hey, and these seats are actually pretty damn comfortable. So for a car that I'm trying to make a daily driver, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. I've got some stuff to do. So the locks don't work. I don't know what's the reason for it, but I got to figure that out. I tried to fix the electric fan, but I think it's the actual controller that's damaged. Instead, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a dual electric fan setup on it and then wire this bad boy in, which is a dual fan relay. I told you that I got all this done, so heater core is hooked up. It's running just fine. So, and that was kind of the basis of this video anyways, was doing the heater core, and then we kind of got off track. So I'll show you the heater core, or the heater. It works. Don't mind this. I got a new plug coming for my hazards, and I'm gonna have to put the old 85 mile per hour dash back in, or instrument cluster back in. It doesn't detect the RPMs correctly, but I mean it works. It just, that's the only thing, and I don't know if the mile per hour gauge actually works or not, but I'm not super worried about it. I'm just gonna swap that back. The lights work though, so that's cool. But yeah, here you go. So starts up nice and good. There's off. We got some vibration from the roof because I took the headliner off to get it played with. There's vent. So coming out of the front vents right here, and it is nice and warm. I already warmed it up, or already put the heat on it earlier. Oh no. There we go. Let's go to floor. Floor works just fine. It's blowing out right here and then out right there. Mix. So that's the defrost up here and the lower. And then this is just defrost only. So works as it's meant to. Blower motor works just fine. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's some coming out of there. Let's go one stage up. Yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more. And there's full blast. Cool. All right. So that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, I got some things to do. I probably won't film all the rest of it. There's my door panels. I got to get those installed. But yeah, I mean, overall, even the way it sits right now, the interior is like 100 times better than it was. But I've got to get all of this crap cleaned up. I've got to throw some stuff away. And then I've got to go pull in my buddy's car that I've been needing to work on. And yeah, some other things. So yeah, I need to shave too. Looking rough. But we'll do that tomorrow. So all right, everybody, that's gonna be it. Yeah, if you like what I'm doing, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the things. If you don't like what I'm doing, I really don't care. There's like 10 billion other videos on YouTube for you to watch. So I'm glad that I wasted some of your time. Yeah, I think next thing you're gonna see is I'm gonna start trying to work on the Courier a little bit more. I've got some stuff that needs to get done on it. I've got my slave cylinder in, so we're gonna try to figure out how to hook the slave cylinder up to the Ranger transmission, and then yeah, we'll be going from there. Look at that turbo. I'm gonna get one of those on this thing one day. I want to do a Volvo head swap and a turbo. I think that'll be pretty cool. Cool. Take it easy. Peace.